Okay, let's talk. What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Trophy rooms, trophy rooms, trophy rooms, trophy rooms. What's going on with them? What's happening? Are they real? Are they fake? Blue laces, all these things that we've been hearing lately. I'm here to really get to the bottom of everything that's been going on. I've been staying quiet for a little while for two reasons. Number one, I've been trying to actually find a real pair of trophy room Air Jordan 1s to bring in here to actually show you guys, because you guys know I really prefer to do my videos when I have this shoe in hand. But there's been so much chaos around this sneaker with people who don't really know what's happening. But there's also been so much chaos behind the scenes with the people that actually do know what's happening. I felt like there was enough going on surrounding this sneaker now where it was worth us actually talking about, even though I do not have the sneaker in hand. Now, I also didn't Photoshop the sneaker in my hand because I just feel like that's lame. But I digress. Today I want to talk a little bit about what exactly is going on with this sneaker, how many pairs were actually backdoored, what is going on with this release. So let's start all the way from the beginning. Trophy Room, as you guys know, is a Tier 0 Jordan brand authorized resale store that is owned by Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son. Now, right off the bat, that lets you know right there that Trophy Room is a special kind of a store. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of game about the sneaker industry today, and there will be no names named because I've gotten a lot of really valuable information from a lot of very valuable people that will always remain anonymous. But the first thing that I want to point out is, again, the fact that this is Marcus Jordan's store. Being Michael Jordan's son has its perks when it comes to owning your own store. And one of those perks is that you can do certain things and you're kind of above the law when it comes to being able to conduct your business a certain kind of a way. And as long as you don't make it blatantly obvious what you're doing, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. And there's two stores that I really think of that have those types of rights and privileges. One, of course, is Trophy Room because it's owned by Marcus. The second one is Soulfly, actually in Florida, because that's owned by Michael Jordan's brother-in-law. There's a couple of other stores that I know that are kind of above the law when it comes to the rules of Jordan brand and the legalities and everything like that. But by and large, those are pretty much the stores that really have free reign over whatever they want to do. But today, again, we're talking about Trophy Room. So Trophy Room opens up, and one of the biggest things that I know that Trophy Room and Marcus Jordan wanted to do was to make sure they got their own collaborations with Jordan brand, their own sneakers. And that actually happened. You guys remember, we've gotten Trophy Room 16s, 17s, 5s, and all of those sneakers are pretty decent sneakers. Now the 16s pretty much flopped. The 17s had a little bit of noise to them, but people weren't really feeling them. But the 5s, those Trophy Room 5s, that was a special sneaker right there because that really opened up the back door. And we need to talk a little bit about what exactly is going on with the back door. If you guys are not familiar with the back door, that is actually a term that is used in the sneaker industry to describe illegal deals, well, maybe not illegal, but secret deals that are going on in the back door of the store or in the back rooms of certain stores. We have certain resellers and certain friends and family of the store, certain loyal VIP customers that have access to sneakers that everybody else would normally have to enter a raffle for or try to get their hands on if they're lucky. There are certain people that have enough juice, enough clout, and enough money that they can kind of circumvent those rules and kind of make their own rules by getting a lot of pairs of a sneaker and in turn giving a lot of money to the store above and beyond the retail price. Now, when those people get those sneakers, a lot of them are big resellers, they then turn around and sell them for even higher because they want to make their money back that they paid in for a sneaker, and they want to make a little bit of profit on top of it. Now, that is where we were with the Trophy Room 5s. The back door opened up, and there were a lot of people that got their hands on those sneakers. So many people actually got their hands on so many pairs that it kind of got ridiculous because you saw those pictures start popping up all over the internet of all those people getting their hands on all those Trophy Room 5s, and people like you and I, regular people, we weren't really able to get our hands on the sneaker. So that's where we are right now. Now we have the Air Jordan 1. And there was some politics that went on behind the scenes as far as how the Air Jordan 1 project even came to be. I'm not gonna dive too deeply into that, but what I will say is that it was pushed for a long time to get an Air Jordan 1. And finally, it happened. But when it happened, it came with a lot of very bad business that started going on behind the scenes. And mainly the bad business was stemming from the backdoor sales. So if you guys didn't know, sneakers that come in that get distributed throughout the United States, they're normally housed in a warehouse in Memphis, Tennessee. There's a lot of security around there, but unfortunately, a lot of times, a lot of pairs of sneakers still get stolen out of the factory. And the Trophy Room Jordan 1s were no exception. So there were pairs of the sneaker that started popping up around social media on Instagram, a couple pairs here or there, from people that had connections in Memphis at the Nike warehouse that were actually able to smuggle them out a pair or two. Now, when that happened, it actually made a lot of headlines because Marcus Jordan himself took to Twitter to express his frustration about how he didn't even know that the sneakers were in the country yet, but yet there were people that had stolen pairs out of the Nike factory that were actually selling them on social media. But there was one other piece of that puzzle that people weren't really banking on, and that was the fact that no, Marcus Jordan himself, I don't think is doing it, but I think there's a lot of people around him in his entourage, people that run the trophy room store, managers, sales associates, people that had access to that product, and they started backdooring the sneakers to a whole lot of people because there was a whole lot of money and a whole lot of hype surrounding this sneaker. Those first pairs that were getting sold were selling for around $4,000, $3,500, something around there. So naturally, the people who had access to all of that inventory started thinking to themselves, maybe I can make some really good money out of this. And that's exactly what happened. So phone calls started getting made from certain people at Trophy Room knew had pockets deep enough to be able to do these types of deals. And they started offering people up to 200 pairs of Trophy Room ones per retail location. Theoretically, you didn't even have to have a store. You just needed to have a retail door that you could have these sneakers delivered to so that it would look like they were being allocated to yet another business. But you heard me right, up to 200 pairs. Now, I was in a room on Clubhouse, and I also won't mention who said this, but I also heard that on a lower level, sales were also being made, bulk deals were being made, where if you bought 10 pairs of the shoe or more, they cost you $1,500 per pair. But if you purchase less than 10 pairs, they would cost you $1,750 per pair. And guess what? People were paying it because the money that was being made on the market was still worth paying in at $1,500 or $1,750. Well, now a whole lot of calls are getting made and a whole lot of sneakers are being shipped out and a whole lot of people are now trying to cash in on the Trophy Room Jordan 1s as hype continues to grow and grow and grow. Now, again, I'm not saying that Marcus Jordan is the one that's doing this, but what I am saying is that Marcus Jordan is the one that's allowing this to happen. So from my very, very reliable sources, all in all, there were about 8,000 pairs of the sneaker that have been backdoored total. You heard me right. 8,000 of the 12,000 pairs of the sneakers have been backdoored and sold off in massive quantities to little stores, consignment shops, little boutiques, things of that nature. Mostly stores that don't even have a Jordan brand account or a Nike account, which is why they're able to sell the sneakers right now. That's 66% of the total allocation of the sneakers gone. So in my opinion, maybe to save a little bit of face, Marcus Jordan then takes to Instagram and Twitter and shows off his personal pair of Trophy Room Jordan 1s with blue laces in them instead of the standard black laces that say rumor has it with the Trophy Room logo. And then he also put a post up on his Instagram story with a big box full of these blue laces individually wrapped that says authenticity is rare or something like that, alluding to the fact that only these pairs that have these blue laces in them are the authentic pairs and everything else is just a big old fake. Well, it's not true. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of the pairs that you guys have been seeing on social media are 100% authentic. They're legit. It's just that a lot of people have the shoe right now. We also need to talk about the fact that the chances of these sneakers being fake are relatively low right now, and that's for two reasons. Number one, Nike just rang off that big $6 billion lawsuit against all of the fake sneaker makers over there in China, so a lot of stuff got shut down as a result of the due diligence that was being made in regard to that case. Number two, in case you knew it or not, it's Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is celebrated on February the 12th, 2021, and because it's coming up, a lot of times things start to shut down for about 1 to 3 weeks around China to celebrate the new year. They celebrate holidays differently over there than we celebrate over here. So a lot of factories right now aren't even making, producing, or sending shoes out. So how is it that all of a sudden all of these people had all of these sneakers and they're all fake? They're not all fake. A lot of them actually are authentic. I'll give them that. But the problem is that now the market has been super saturated with pairs of this sneaker. And again, to save face, Marcus Jordan had to do a pivot and show these blue laces and say, okay, well now these shoes are going to have blue laces. Now I've heard a couple of stories here. This is where it gets kind of interesting. The blue laces I've heard, number one, are friends and family only. And then I've also heard that the blue laces will only be put with pairs that are sold in Orlando, where Trophy Room is located. Either way, the rest of the allocation probably that's still being held in the warehouse or being held wherever they're being held at, those pairs will probably come with blue laces. However, they're raffled off, which I believe was the original way they were going to sell this shoe anyway, or however they choose to release the sneakers. Now, Trophy Room usually does an email raffle for all of their sneakers, so they're probably going to do something very similar to that. They're going to have some sort of email raffle. You email somebody, you tell them what size you need, what shoe you want, and if you don't get a response, you didn't win. If you do get a response, then you got the shoe. It's as simple as that. But StockX needs to make their money as well. So instead of making people have the blue laces, StockX actually, in a very interesting move, put a little note, a little addendum at the bottom of the Trophy Room 1 page that says, blue laces are not required. Of course, they did that to encourage people to keep selling their pairs on StockX, because at $2,000 or $2,500 a pop, StockX is making a nice sum of money from doing all those transaction fees. So StockX is getting paid, people at Trophy Room are getting paid, but the resellers, it's still a little up in the air. And the reason, like I mentioned, is because the market got so saturated with pairs that everybody that would want a pair or would be willing to pay that price for a pair pretty much has them, because they would want to resell them back out, or they're just waiting for the prices to go down because there's so many pairs out there in the wild right now. So where does that leave us with the Trophy Room ones? Well, here's the deal. Some of those pairs are fake, and there's enough fake pairs out there, I believe, that probably came in around the time that the real pairs started shipping in from China. I believe that there are fake pairs out there. I just think there's a lot more real pairs than people really think that there are. So where it leaves us right now is, first of all, if you want to buy a pair of the Trophy Room ones, make sure that you're doing your due diligence to ensure that you're getting an authentic pair. So buy them, in my opinion, from places that actually do their own authentication, and it's a trusted authentication process. There are pairs that are on eBay. eBay has its authentication guarantee for sneakers for certain retailers. Go that route, or go through StockX or Go. In my opinion, those are still both very reliable sources to ensure that your sneakers are actually authentic. But if somebody just hits you up in a DM on Twitter or on Instagram saying, hey, I got a pair, I would be a little bit cautious about that. Make sure that there's a way that you can get your money back. Do a PayPal invoice, for instance. Do something where your money is traceable and trackable so that you don't end up getting burned over a pair of fakes. As for me, I'm still looking around for a pair, and I would still love to get a pair in. But again, I'm a little bit wary because there are some fakes out there and there are some scammers out there. And personally, I would just really like to have a pair that has the blue laces in them. So if you guys hear me again about this sneaker, chances are I'll have it in hand, hopefully with those blue laces. So just to recap, there are a lot of pairs that got backdoored. Over 8,000 pairs got backdoored of the 12,000 pair allocation. A lot of pairs were getting them sent out up to 200 pairs at a time to different stores and consignment shops that were paying a ton of money in to get this sneaker, which is why the prices got jacked up so high, because people were paying $1,500 to $1,700 per pair of the sneaker. So a lot of people, like I mentioned, in Marcus's entourage and people around Trophy Room have made an absolute killing on this sneaker and leaving a lot of resellers holding the bag. Literally. Now you may ask, well, if people are just sitting on these sneakers, how come they just don't sell them all off on StockX? Well, the reason why is because there's a lot of sellers that are on StockX that are trying to do the exact same thing that they're doing. They're trying to buy a little bit lower and a little bit lower so that they can then hold the inventory, hoping that it goes up in value when the sneaker actually releases. Now, right now, the anticipated drop is around February the 10th. We'll see if that really happens. But for all the resellers out there, the problem is that even in the money sizes of the sneaker, the payout on StockX and GOAT right now really is hovering somewhere around $2,000. That's what you would take home after you pay the fees. But if you got pairs that were outside of that, which a lot of times in these types of deals, money sizes, which are sizes ranging from around 7 to around 9, 9.5, possibly 10, those go for even more money. And then the non-money sizes, which are 10.5 on up to some of the bigger sizes, or some of the smaller sizes like 5s and 6s, those tend to go for less money. For instance, I'm a size 9. That's what people would call a money size. So chances are for a size 9, you had to pay even more money. Maybe you had to pay $2,000 to get your hands on the size 9 instead of the $1,750. That's just how the game goes. But on StockX, if you want to sell a size 9, you're probably either going to break even or you may end up losing a little bit of money if you try to sell a bigger size, because those have already dipped down into the $1,900, $1,800 to $1,700 range. So a lot of people are trying to hold on to that inventory, hoping that the price shoots back up. They don't call it StockX for no reason. People treat sneakers just like stocks. I say all that to say, guys, be careful. Hopefully you guys are getting the Trophy Room ones. Hopefully everybody watching this is able to get their hands on a pair of them. Hopefully I've given you guys a little bit more information to kind of set everybody at ease about what's going on, how many pairs there are out there, and now the likelihood of you getting this pair, not gonna lie, it's pretty low. It's pretty slim right now. You have a much better chance of going through somebody and trying to negotiate a lower price to get your hands on the Trophy Room 1 right now. But if you choose not to go that route and to go the raffle route or whatever they're going to do to release the remaining pairs, best of luck to you guys. I really hope that you guys are able to cop a pair for the retail price, because that would be incredible. These are a great sneaker with a great story, and I hope to get a little bit more in depth and in detail with that story if I'm able to get the sneakers in hand. But in the meantime, that's pretty much all that I got for today, guys. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this Trophy Room 1 Air Jordan fiasco. Are you guys down for trying to get a pair? Are you guys holding pairs? Are you guys one of the lucky ones that were able to get some legit pairs in that you're trying to sell off? Where are you right now with the Trophy Room 1? Or are these just going to end up being a hard pass because all of this is just too much? Sound off. Let me know. Oh, of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the SneakerPhetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes to the channel or any more dialogue like this, because I guarantee you I got a lot more of both on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish, dialoguing with me for a couple of minutes down in the comments. I go by the name of Kari, and until next time, I'm out.